Harriet, do you have highlighter on today? You look so good. You're glistening, glowing, a little red too. I don't know why.
Yeah, so this is Earth's highlight. It's the sun, UV rays. I was actually at work yesterday filming the baseball game on Sunday, and the UV rays were really high. I didn't know, and so I was out there for about 4 hours cooking like a rotisserie chicken.
Delicious.
Yeah, but yeah, it really hurts. I kind of look like the Target dog, just like reverse, because you can see my sunglasses. Like I have a white like right here, and like my nose is really red, but like I got burnt like right up all here, and like
Gosh.
It's very painful.
You poor thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, welcome back to Can't Think Straight, everyone. I am Nate.
And I'm Harriet, and today we have a very special episode. We are going to hear from our crew members on what their thoughts are on us, the host. And we'll be taking a deep dive into a concept all too familiar to the human race, heartbreak.
Oof, I can hardly wait. But before we do that, Harriet, I would like to talk to you about the Oscars.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Oscars too.
Specifically about Ariana Debose.
Oh my gosh, I thought her speech was beautiful, especially at the end when she said that we have a space here, like we deserve to be here, along those lines. I thought that was great, and good on her. She was great in West Side Story. So.
Oh my God, I literally loved her in West Side Story. I thought it was so sweet how she also paid homage to Rita Moreno, who kind of paved the way for Latina women in Hollywood, especially. And she, the thing you mentioned about space, like it seems like, if you're creative, if you're someone in art, like there should be space for everyone, because there's definitely, anyone can be creative or artistic, and it's important to acknowledge that for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think the Oscars have, the Academy, there's a lot of problems in the Academy, but remember a few Oscars ago when Roma won an Oscar, especially, so I love that there's like more Latinx representation, because my mom is from Honduras, and so Latinx representation is really important to me, and so it's nice to see, it was really nice to see Miss Debose win that Oscar.
Yeah.
Imagine this little girl in the back seat of a white Ford Focus. Look into her eyes. You see a queer, openly queer woman of color, an Afro-Latina, who found her strength in life through art. And that's what I believe we're here to celebrate. So to anybody who has ever questioned your identity, ever, or you find yourself living in the gray spaces, I promise you this, there is indeed a place for us. Thank you to the Academy, and thank you all.
As I get older, perception, I learn, is a very important thing, and so is point of view and perspective, and so sometimes I think about, has the content that we've made in this show beneficial to the greater LGBTQ plus community of Boone?
It's honestly hard to tell. Sometimes, seeing our views or comments or likes on our YouTube videos and, hearing about it on campus, if anyone really knows about it, especially people within our major who know about it, it seems like it's doing pretty good for the community. It seems like there are times where we can really use this show to help uplift queer voices. I know we've said that in the past, but it really is for that. And I feel like it's important to acknowledge how this show can be an outlet for anyone in Boone who wants to have that space to talk about something or to share their story or anything that they're passionate about. I hope that we can be there for that.
Yeah, and also like, even if the show didn't exist, like if we didn't create this show, I don't think like a lot would be different, but I feel like with having the show, it kind of creates some sort of outlet, not only for people in our major, but hopefully for the greater LGBTQ plus community of Boone. And I think that's why it's important to have our crew, because sometimes, you and I can get kind of tunnel vision like horses with like blinders on, you know what I'm talking about? And so our crew kind of helps us kind of get back in touch with reality, to be completely honest, and either rein us in or tell us to explore more.
For sure.
Yeah, it's good to have different eyes on things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough existentialism for today, Nate. We like doing the show. And guess what?
What?
Our crew likes doing the show.
They do?
Yes. In fact, we have a few confessionals to share. I believe they will shine a light on how we are amazing producers.
Okay, I'll bite.
Hi, my name is Kinsey Adams, and Harriet and Nate are getting me to do this whole confessional thing because they want to hear about the show and like what we think about it. And honestly, I really enjoy it, but like sometimes they get like a little crazy because they like just get into these modes where they're just like talking to each other and then they like, you can't even understand what they're saying anymore because they're just like reading each other's mind at a certain point, and like it just gets so high pitched that everybody just like has to like pass out for a second and then they come back to and then nobody remembers it and then we just keep on with the show. It's kind of crazy, actually.
There's a lot I can say about Nate and Harry. You know, they're both great writers, great performers. In fact, they're both so good at what they do. They had me watch 12 of their skits on loop the first time I met them. It was a real fun time watching them celebrate themselves.
I knew Harriet and Nate were going to be very successful because they were in one of my classes and I knew the chemistry they have. Now I have a chance to advise them. The problem is they never listen to my advice. When I see the show, I tell them, didn't we talk about doing something different?
I do have a kind of question to ask Nate. I've been wondering to ask him for a while. He has had like all these cool hairstyles ever since I've known him, since like, I think it's been like 2 or 3 years, you know, had like shaved head, blonde, you know, these little emo blonde pieces, all these little different knick-knack paddywhacks. But like, I guess he decided to go with a coconut head look right now because like, that's what, I know y'all have seen it.
Nate and Harriet, what is there to say about them? Sadly, a lot, because I don't like them. I don't like Nate, I don't like Harriet. I hate Nate's ugly haircut. It's brutal.
Yeah, Nate's Princess Diana cut, it's honestly traumatizing to be around him. It just reminds me of the horrific car crash every time I look at it. It just makes me really depressed, and I don't know if I can be around that all the time, you know? Like, I miss her.
Yeah, it's not fun to look at, you know, for 5 hours in the day. It hurts.
And Nate, what's up with that haircut, man?
Nate, if he keeps wearing these crop tops, I'm kind of expecting some Daisy Duke soon. So, I mean, come on, you either got to put up or shut up. Come on, guys.
One more question. Harriet, why are you still here? Don't you have like a real job or something?
Harriet's just this perfect wish version of Alana from Broad City. There's not really more I can say about that. It's kind of a perfect representation right there.
Harriet, I don't know too well, luckily.
I'm really digging Harriet's SpongeBob cosplay. She's just missing the red tie and the spatula, but I mean, we can find those somewhere.
Someone needs to tell Harriet that this literally is not Bikini Bottom. I don't know. I think she actually has the Krabby Patty formula. Like, we need to talk about that more.
And, you know, yeah, my time at Can't Think Straight, you know, being on the TriCaster has not been fun. It has not. It is the worst part about my day.
So, Nate and Harriet, huh? I guess it's a good thing I'll be running Can't Think Straight next year.
My name is Death Nurse. I am from Nashville, Tennessee, and I am studying studio art at Appalachian State University. The name Death Nurse is from a really bad horror movie about a nurse that kills all of her patients. It's like really lo-fi. I think it went straight to VHS in the 80s. And it comes from me looking for a way to make art about the most difficult things within my personal life. I was struggling with separating myself from making these objects and these prints and these books. So when I called myself this different name, it made it easy to separate my identity from what I was making, and so I could make these things that reflected disgust, sort of issues with self-esteem, issues with my health, things that I didn't want to address when I went by my actual name. So I've been dealing with chronic illness for the last 3 years, and it was really hard for me to even fathom making art about it for a while because it was such a part of my day-to-day that I hated and resented happening, that it just seemed silly for me to even waste my time making art about it. My brain couldn't even go there. and then it kind of got to the point where it was so prevalent that it, like a switch flipped, where I just suddenly, I could only make art about it. And I kind of am still there, but it just got to a point where what I was making, I wasn't feeling myself in it anymore. And so to make these objects and these prints that reflected disgust and, again, like some level of self-hatred or needing to mirror what I'm going through in my own body, that was just happening in my head, and it got to a point where I just couldn't not do it anymore. When I make these scrolls, they're using words from other people on support groups that I'm on online, and sometimes as I'm making them and making these textures that reflect how I feel in my own body and using words of other people who are feeling the exact same thing I am, it becomes really painful to do and sort of, I don't know, just difficult to keep making it over and over. But at the same time, a part of me gets a little bit of relief from doing it. I think printmaking is amazing in its sort of world of etiquette, but in my practice I want to break it down and I want to work outside of that. There's just a world of very specific rules within printmaking, and from the best kind of paper to print on, to how you edition your print or sign the print at the bottom, to how you tear your paper. And I don't like doing that as much, and so making objects like this, which sort of to a printmaker, I don't think that they would not enjoy looking at these objects or interacting with them, but they're not traditional printmaking. And part of working with different materials with combining mediums is breaking that mold and exploiting the medium for what it is without following traditions and rules that maybe would be limiting to me if I was in alignment with them. I've always been drawn to like monochromatic aesthetics and like grittier textures and making marks that are not very clean, and printmaking really allows you to do that, to simulate grittiness and to have like serendipitous mark making in your pieces. So it kind of is always lended to my aesthetic. I like to think a lot about like the idea of palimpsest, or taking something that has already had marks on it and like making something new out of it, reappropriating the pages. The books that I make are all completely handmade, so like they're not books that I found, they're hand bound. So starting with either gauze or paper and adding materials to it. So some of the books I've made have just been like layers and layers of medium and paint and printmaking, and then I've bound them together myself. I always want to keep making prints and keep making objects, and I definitely, part of me wants to wrap up making work about this, and I know that that's all dependent on when my body actually gets better, and I know I'm going to deal with health issues the rest of my life because I've dealt with them for all 22 years of my existence. So that'll always have an effect on the things that I'm making. But at this point, part of me kind of wants to move on to something else for a while, just because it has worn me down a lot to do, even though I'm so glad I'm doing it, and it's hard to do anything else.
Life is a journey. We're told that there are mountains and valleys before us. A mountaineer trudges through. Where others see an obstacle, a mountaineer sees an opportunity. A mountaineer climbs tomorrow's mountains today. So what is a mountaineer? A mountaineer is you.
Wow, well, that certainly was enlightening.
Yeah, you like us. You really, really like us.
Yeah, whatever makes your little rat brain happy. Yep. And speaking of liking people.
Oh, God.
That's right. Let's talk about crushes. Let's talk about being in love. And let's talk about heartbreak.
Oh my God!
Do we have to? Ooh. Well, Harriet, I gotta know, how does it feel to have a crush?
So for me, I know, especially like in my younger days, like AKA a year ago, I think whenever I have a crush, I just kind of like let it consume me, not in like a unhealthy way, but like I'm always thinking about them. I'm always wanting to know what they do, or like hoping that I'll like run into them on campus, that kind of thing.
I get the love bug as well. Like that episode of Flapjack, if anyone remembers.
Oh my gosh, I love Flapjack.
He gets all those weird hearts around him and he just keeps getting sicker and sicker. Like, that's how it feels. Like, you just get sick and you fall head over heels. Literally, like, just completely because you have such an idea, such a pedestal of them already that you just, like, they can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
So.
And that is what we call delusion, people. And that is what we call rose-colored glasses.
Exactly.
Delusional is probably what I get when I have a crush. Delusional.
What about how it feels to have a heartbreak, though?
It hurts a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think we can have a collective flashback.
Yeah, we definitely have a shared experience of heartbreak. I think we went through it at the exact same time for some reason.
Yeah, so.
Oh, let's take a look. Woo!
You can't just turn back time. Why not? I moved on.
Just a minute, I'm coming. You too?
You heartbroken?
Yeah, are you? I hate this feeling.
Me too.
I don't want to feel like this anymore.
We need a solution. We need to find something to do.
Yeah.
Let's look online.
Okay, let's do it. I know. I feel good.
Yeah, I think the self-help really worked.
I think so too. You know, I'm just happy that we were able to like do this on our own and just kind of like, oh, sorry, I'm getting a text. I gotta go.
Oh, are you serious, Harriet? After all that work we've been through.
Growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I always thought I wanted to be a teacher. And then seeing my dad do the whole process of like starting this business and everything that like he had to do and stuff, I was like, this is kind of fun. So I started looking into it, and that's how I actually picked my major for marketing. I moved from Argentina to here in December 2014. This is probably my favorite shirt ever. So this is my club team in Argentina. I started playing there probably when I was in like 5th grade, and it was a super small club. Right before I moved to the US, there was a Champions Trophy, which is an international tournament, and they played it in Argentina. This is Aymar. She is like the best field hockey player of all time. She was the best field hockey player for like 8 years in a row. And she's kind of like a player that I really look up to. Growing up in Argentina, you look up to these girls so much. Like when you grow up, you say you want to be a leona, just a lioness. So they would cook and bake empanadas and store them there, and every time they had an event or something, they would go cook them. And then they realized it was doing really well, so they got the first store, which is the one we're gonna go to. My dad is the brunette on the top picture. This is him. This is Hernan, his business partner, and then this is Santi, Hernan's brother. So, and yeah, so they've been friends since pretty much they were born. Those are Hernan and Santi. Those are me and my brothers. I'm either the cashier, but now because of COVID, it's more phone orders or online orders. And back here, I feel like you can kind of come in. We have the ovens where we make the empanadas, and then we put them in the warmer and we prepare the orders and give them out. You know, they put the dough and then they put the things in them, and then they close them. And then here you can see the little letters for the things.
Like, you wanna make a chicken, you do this, and I let it sink. Okay? We will put together.
My hero here. Everything I learned it from her. This summer I'm actually working with his business partner in doing their social medias and marketing and stuff. So it's really nice to kind of get an opportunity to do what my major is in my family business, to try to help them. When I was looking at recruiting, I started looking at D1 schools with field hockey, and I saw that App State had a field hockey team. So I kind of got in touch with Meg Dawson and kind of started talking to them. They came to some of my games. I would go up to visit. And when I went up there and actually looked at the campus, I completely fell in love with it. And I was like, this is a place I could see myself going to.
When one arrives in Boone, you pretty quickly feel embraced by the mountains. The same thing happens here at the university. When you are a student here at the College of Business, you're embraced by the Appalachian community.
The name Appalachian State University, it means something, and it connects with people. The experience goes beyond academics. There's a culture here. Everywhere I go, I wear that golden A. I take pride in that. It's not something that you find everywhere.
One of the things that's great about Appalachian is it has the resources of a big school, but the small school community.
Professors here take such an important view of how they can impact the lives of students.
That's the reason why we're here, supporting the students, seeing that they're successful both in their time here and then as they graduate.
We have a remarkable connection between faculty and students.
We have some of the leading voices in the field, so it really creates an intellectually vibrant environment.
We have the smaller class sizes, we have the high faculty engagement, and it really sets us apart.
These students are phenomenal. These students are, in my opinion, going to be the change seekers and change makers in the world, not only through their professional skills, but also because of the passion they have got for making this world a better place.
A lot of people think of school as coming to the classroom and then going home and doing homework. At the Walker College, it's not like that.
We're really trying to rethink how we deliver education, what the purpose of education is. Really trying to break that hierarchy of the professor being out in front with all the great ideas and instead saying, you know what, everybody has great ideas.
They're figuring out those solutions through innovative thinking, through an innovative process.
Innovation is the edge. We are trying very hard to push our students to think in ways that they can not only think outside the box, but what kind of positive impacts they will be able to make in the world.
Having these different opportunities really sets our college apart.
We're trying to prepare the leaders of tomorrow by giving them ways of thinking about problems so they come up with solutions that are meaningful.
The students hit the ground running. They are the most technically competent, ready to go day one students. You know, when you get out into the business environment, that's the attitude you have to have.
Hiring an Appalachian graduate, as an employer, I know that I've got someone who can come in and hit the ground running.
One of the phrases you'll hear used often in the College of Business is business for good. We want our students going out in the world and helping to make it better by using business practices that can help.
I'm thankful for the transformational experience that Appalachian has given me. This college has shaped me both as a person and, I think, a servant leader.
Being a Mountaineer and being part of the Walker College of Business has shaped who I am today.
I'm really excited to enter the workforce with the skills that I've gained here.
For me, Appalachian really represents family. You know, I don't know where I would be without my Appalachian experience. I'm proud to be a Mountaineer in so many ways.
Any student that comes out of the Walker College of Business is extraordinarily prepared to be successful and to make a difference in the world.
If you want to be able to work side by side with faculty, students, staff, community, partners, and industry, we want you to be part of our family.
I think we have sufficiently embarrassed ourselves at this point.
Yeah. But you know what? We are showing the viewers things that are not always rainbows and unicorns, okay?
I know.
Sometimes you gotta be transparent about this stuff. Life is hard. Heck, this show is really hard.
Yeah.
But all that matters is that we get to laugh about it along the way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what life is all about. If you can't laugh at yourself a little bit, then...
How are you gonna laugh at someone else? Okay, y'all, enough sap for today.
Yes, and a big thank you to our crew for working so hard and putting up with us. For real, for real. So until next episode, you guys, bye.
Bye.
While you're getting mic'd up.
She talks about being queer, Afro-Latina, and then being the queen.
Andrew Garfield looks so spicy. He does. He looks so spicy. I wish I looked like that. He looked good.